Hey there, customer value. What does customer value have to do with supersizing your business? What does customer value have to do with supersizing my business? Well, there's a difference between value of the customer and customer value. Customer value can be defined as the value that you provide to your customer. At least that's how I define it, because the value that we provide isn't that exchange of value in terms of they give us money because we provide them solutions to problems or whatever else you provide, or services, products or services that you provide your customers. That exchange of value determines how much money you'll make or how well your business will do and how you'll grow and supersize your business. If we want to increase our sales, we can do a couple of things. We can increase the value that we provide to our customer by offering them better and better solutions, which means more and more expensive solutions to the problems they have, or solving different problems for them. But what I really want to talk about today, I'm working on a Women's Summit. The Women's Summit is all about customers, this first Women's Summit. And so I was working on a little presentation that I'm putting together for that, all about the value of the customer. What is the value of the customer to your business? Do you know? Do you know what the value of a customer is for your particular business? Now, there's a lot of, you can look up statistics, you can Google it, and you can find industry averages for the value of a customer or the lifetime value of a customer, which is what I'm getting at, because I want you to know what the lifetime value of your customer is, what it is right now, and then you can plan out and say, well, what do I want my lifetime value of my customer to be, by offering more products and services, more access to you, higher ticket items that solve problems for them, things like that. But in order to change that, you have to first know what it is. Now, I was introduced to this concept decades ago. I don't even remember now, but I remember reading various people discuss it over the years and kind of refined my own way of calculating the value of a customer for me. So first I say, okay, what is the amount, the average amount that a customer in my business spends the first time they do business with me? And then I look at, well, what did it cost me to get that customer? After that, I say, okay, what does the average person that comes back another time, a second time to do business with me, what do they spend? And what did it cost me to acquire that customer, to get them to be a repeat customer? And the numbers are dramatically different. It costs a lot of money to get a new customer, like 7 to 10 times more, and it depends on your business. But you want to know these numbers for your business so you can make decisions based on what kind of things and methods are you going to use to attract new customers. Does it make sense? I mean, for some businesses, it makes sense to use television advertising, which is really expensive. And if you calculate out the cost of a media buy over the number of customers you get from that media buy, then you have the average price to acquire that customer for that particular campaign or media. Again, getting too technical here, not important. And then you want to look at those numbers and determine what is the average ticket or the average spend of my customer. Then you take that number, I'm going to give you an example that will clarify this, but you take that number times the frequency, how often a person comes back to your business, and then you take that over how long a person stays with your business, how long they stay a customer. So let me give you a couple of examples, and I'll do a range of examples so that you get an idea. I like to use my Italian food business, but the numbers are really, really big because we were a manufacturing company and we were business to business. So when I use that as an example, sometimes it's hard to relate to depending on what your business is. So let's use a restaurant example. So say your average ticket price for a new customer coming into your restaurant is $50. And I'm using $50 because it's a nice round, easy number and I can do the math in my head. So the average ticket price of a new customer, $50. Say it costs you $57 to acquire that customer because you're doing some marketing, some media buying, some radio ads, some things, different banner ads on different places. You're advertising in the local newspaper. You're giving out coupons. You're advertising in the church bulletin, whatever it is. You calculate that it costs you $57 to get a new customer, and the average they spend is $50. Now, you're going to go out of business fast if all you're doing is getting new customers using that scenario for your business. But if you get that same customer to come back again and you realize that it only costs you $0 to $7 to get that person to come back again, maybe you offer them, again, a coupon, an incentive, a free dessert, a free appetizer, whatever. But that gets them to come back again. And this time their average ticket price is $75. because you've offered them other alternatives or whatever. I'm just making this up as I go along, but it is a real example because I deal with a lot of restaurants. So now it's only cost you $7, or you've only spent $7 to get this person to come back to your business. Now what you can do is calculate, well, what is my average spend for this person? And then how do I get them coming back on a certain frequency to my business? And so let's use the example, and let's say I actually wrote one out. So let's say their average ticket price is $75. Now, if they were to come back to my business, to my restaurant, once a month, that would be $900 a year that they would spend. Now, these are just averages, right? We don't need to know the exact numbers. We want to figure out the numbers for us because there's a lot of value in knowing this number and knowing what a customer, a new customer and a repeat customer is worth to us. Because if I look at my customers and I think, it's only $50, do I treat them and do I think about them differently? And then if I think about all the costs that have to go out of that $50 ticket, do I treat them a certain way than if I know what the lifetime value of them is to me? And does that make me want to develop relationships with them to keep them coming back to my business more? Well, it does me. If just getting them to come back once a month means $900 to my business versus $50 to my business, that is more incentive. But if I take this and I look at it even bigger, say I get them to come back once a week to my business. And a lot of people do. We're creatures of habit, human beings. We like to go to the same places. We like to go to businesses that make us feel good about ourselves and that make us feel good. So if I can encourage that relationship in my restaurant with my customer, they're going to come back, and they will come back once a week. I know that there's a restaurant right by my house that we go to every single week. We go there every Tuesday. They have a cool special every Tuesday. So every Tuesday, me and usually my kids, one or two of my sisters and their spouses and their kids, we all go to this same restaurant every Tuesday. The first time we went there, we probably spent $40, $50. The next time we went there, we spent like $200. And now we go there every single week and we spend at least $150, but probably closer to $250. So what are we worth to that restaurant owner? Well, at once a week, just at $75, that would be $23,400. So my family going to this restaurant once a week is worth between $24,000 and a whole lot more. It's worth a whole lot more. Morning, Chad. So now if I look at my customer and I know that they're worth $24,000 to me, even though their first ticket is only $50 that they spend, how am I going to treat that individual? How am I going to treat that person in terms of building a relationship with them, making sure they have an awesome experience that first time and each of the subsequent times so I can get them coming back to my place every week. So to me, that's the important thing about the lifetime value of a customer. And again, you can look up the industry averages, but they don't matter. What matters is, what is it for your business right now? So for example, for my Italian food business, I did know this. I did calculate this. Our average sale was $858. That was weekly. So $858 weekly it's a lot of money, you guys. It's $44,616. That was the average of my business. Now remember, it was between $1,200 for the lifetime value of a customer, and the average was $44,616. But some of my customers were worth millions of dollars a year to me. So that was the range was, $1,200. And actually, I don't think I ever had anybody that was just $1,200. I think it was about $5,200, but let's just use $1,200. So there's the low end, and then there's the high end where it was like $2.6 million for a customer. So again, business to business, hard to relate to. But it's just my point that if you know your average, if I know that each person that I talk to is potentially worth $44,616 to me. Now, that's just a year. My average customers that stuck with my manufacturing business was 10.7 years. Now, we had some customers that were with us for 25, 30, actually 35 years. We had a couple customers that were with us for 35 years. So the lifetime value of that customer is millions and millions of dollars. I mean, just our average was $477,000. So if I know that my average lifetime value of a customer is almost $500,000, what am I going to do and how am I going to treat those customers, and how am I going to go about picking and choosing and building a relationship with those customers? That's very different than thinking that they're only worth $800 to me, right? If I treat them like an $800 customer, I'm going to treat them very differently than if I treat them like a $500,000 customer. And whatever those numbers are for your business, that's what's important. So go out and figure out today, calculate what is the average ticket price, how frequently do they come, and then calculate that over how long they stay with your business, and you know the lifetime value of your customer. And then comment below if you would treat them differently knowing the lifetime value of your customer versus just that first initial sale. That's it. Have a fantastic day. I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.